Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. I'm Neeraj Shah. Let's take stock of the global news flow first. The US September consumer confidence fell to 103. The estimate was 105.5. In fact, even in the Korea region, or for Korea as well, the consumer confidence has slipped below 100, if I'm not wrong. So, world over, consumers are not exactly confident about the economies. US stocks declined. Stock futures are little changed after the sharp losses yesterday. Oil prices edged higher as markets focused on supply tightness as opposed to the demand weakness that could come about. Another news, CI has built artificial intelligence tool in rivalry with China. So that battle continues. But that notwithstanding, the US markets essentially had a rough day. 1.5% for the Nasdaq, if I'm not wrong. S&P to 1.47% higher. Yields at about 4.52, 4.53, if I'm not wrong, the last time that I checked. So northwards of 4.5% for the 10-year yield, 4.53 that is. The volatility is at nearly 19 now, and the dollar index at 106. So all cues largely stacked against risk assets, and which is why you see the kind of corrective moves that we're seeing in world over. India is probably faring a bit better, you have to admit, because even in yesterday's session, I mean, we ended reasonably flattish, if you will. So in some sense, we are doing better. The gift nifty today might be indicating a start which is maybe a third of a percent lower or flat. Okay, flat currently at 5:35 in the morning. It was about, or whatever, the last time that I checked, very early morning, it was down about a third of a percent. So either or, but certainly looks a bit wobbly. Now, Indian stocks, to my mind, the trade setup for the day today, Indian stocks are likely to track the Asian peers lower again, and software firms are extending the slide thus far. Can that reverse today? Maybe, because we are seeing rotation in select names, particularly the ones with reasonable valuations. And today, for example, there is, I think, a Morgan Stanley note which has raised the target prices on HCL Tech and a few others. So maybe software gets a bit of a bottom, but let's wait and watch. And when I speak to smart money viewers, it continues to bet on large caps with safe valuations to protect downside. Frankly, the conversation with smart money these days is not about uh, where is it that the largest alpha will come about. Most people are now talking about how markets are not likely to run away, and you will want to ensure that if there is a downtick, then your portfolio doesn't get hurt too much. So, people looking at the likes of HDFC Bank, there's a Jeffries note today, we'll come to that as well, or any of the large caps which have hitherto underperformed. So, and which is why I think IT becomes interesting, simply because it's had a bit of a corrective move off late. And if the commentary from uh, the companies is okay, then you might well see that being a place to hide, or a cocoon to hide for most people. So watch out for IT today as well. Couple of listings, not that they were really well subscribed, but Size Sales or Signature Global, a modest subscription relative to what we've seen off late, particularly in the SME side, but even on the main board. So let's see how they list. Maybe a ho-hum listing, maybe some upticks there, because there was oversubscription 4 times and 11 times, if I'm not wrong, for Sai and Signature Global respectively. Let's see how it goes. Stocks to watch today. I'll start off with Adani Ports. It's offered to buy back more of its 2024 dollar bond. The 2024 notes have jumped the most since April after the tender notice. Very likely that the stock may react to this as well. Standard disclaimer, Adani Ports is owned by the Adani Group, which also owns 14% stake in Quintillion Business Media, has entered into MOU for the acquisition of the balance as well. And QBML owns VQ Prime, which is a platform on which you're watching this coverage. Pratap Snacks, a GST authority has conducted search and seizure operations at the company's Bengaluru manufacturing unit. Watch out for that one in case it reacts. Hindustan Zinc and Vedanta Moody's has downgraded Vedanta Resources CFR to CAA2. So maybe these stocks have a bit of a reaction. There could be interesting moves in Century Textiles. Remember, I spoke about this yesterday as well, viewers, that they were expecting some very strong reactions to Century Textiles Bengaluru unit. The stock didn't react too much yesterday. It started off well, ended lower. Can it do different today? Because Birla Estates actually sold out the phase one of that Birla Trimaya project that they launched within 36 hours of the launch. 556 units booked. accounting for nearly 500 crores of booking value. So no doubt that we're seeing some serious traction in select real estate names. We've seen this happening with some of the other real estate companies as well in the past, wherein their good properties are getting lapped up left, right, center. So maybe Century Textiles, which had a off day yesterday, could have a good day today. Suzlon, well, difficult to factor what could happen, but Dilip Shanghvi and Associates uh, have uh, have terminated the shareholders agreement signed in February 2020. So do watch out for Suzlon uh, in case it reacts negatively. If it does, I don't have an idea, but maybe. Then Healthcare Global Enterprises CVC set to explore a sale of controlling stake in the Indian hospital. This is as per a Bloomberg note that I saw. So watch out for it. Healthcare Global in case that reacts. NDTV has gotten the government note for three news and current affairs channels. Again, standard disclosure. I don't know about the pricing. I think the pricing seems off, but let's get out of this plate. But NDTV may react a little bit. Do watch out for that one. IndusInd Bank has announced a multi-year global partnership with ICC. The bank will have an access to a suite of branding and content assets. I don't know, viewers, how to read into this. Uh, I mean, it's an interesting tie-up. I don't know if it's an exclusive or no, but it's an interesting tie-up for sure. And maybe, just maybe, it helps the stock today. Who knows? Nothing dramatic, but well, ICC is hot. Cricket World Cup coming around. Who knows? Maybe there's a bit of a reaction there. So do watch out for that one as well. Then uh, there There are a few other stocks that one should be mindful of. Excuse me for that phone ring, but there are a few other stocks that one should be mindful of. One of them is HDFC Bank. Jefferies has come out with a note on HDFC Bank with a buy and a target price of 2030, which is a 33% upside. They said it's the second dimension is taking shape due to being the seventh largest bank by market cap. Investors may consider the stock as a part of global portfolios, not just in emerging markets or being compared to Indian peers, but a part of global portfolios. The track record of high growth and compounding that we've seen in HDFC Bank helps. They see a 17% CAGR in earnings over 3 years and an ROE of 17% from FY25, being well ahead of global banks' 3 to 7% CAGR. Valuations look attractive at 2.2 times forward price to book. Well, multiple people, multiple times. Like I said, Smart Money also told me about HDFC Bank. Jeffrey's note speaks about HDFC Bank. Valuations are certainly attractive. Can we see some traction today? Well, time will tell, but do watch out for HDFC Bank. Other brokerage recommendations include the Tech Mahindra, which has been cut and underweight at Morgan Stanley. Price target at 1210 implies a 5 to 5.6% discount from last price. Or Signed, which has been raised to overweight at Morgan Stanley. Price target at 2000 rupees implies a 20% increase from the last price. And Aditya Birla Capital, a rated new buy at Jefferies, price target 215 rupees implies a 20% increase from the last price. So those are two or three brokerage names. I think they've also, Morgan Stanley's also upped the target prices on HCL Tech, for example. So do watch out for IT, might just get a bit of a breather because of this note today. Uh, and Nomura has raised India to an overweight rating relative to the rest of the world. So be mindful of that. Well, viewers, that's the long and short of the trade setup today. Thanks so much for tuning in. A clutch of conversations, including Devina Mehra. Do tune in for that.